You built her a kingdom, every stone, every spire, placed with the blood and mortar of your own 2 hands. But you look at her now, sitting on the throne you carved from bone and velvet, and you see only contempt in her eyes. It's a quiet, glacial coldness. The queen of your world, the center of your universe, looks at you as if you are nothing more than the dust beneath her elegantly pointed shoe. The confusion is a cold poison seeping into your veins. I gave you everything, you whisper to the echoing silence of the grand hall. The words taste like ash. You remember the sacrifices, the sleepless nights that bled into gray, joyless dawns, the dreams you folded up and locked away in a chest so that hers could have room to breathe and flourish. You were the provider, the rock, the unwavering foundation upon which she built her world. You bled for her happiness, drop by precious drop. And your reward? A chilling indifference, an unnerving distance that grows wider and deeper with every gift you lay at her feet. So you double your efforts, a desperate gamble. The gifts become more lavish, the castle walls grow higher, trapping you both inside your beautiful tragedy. You chain yourself to the grindstone, believing that more, always more, will finally reignite the spark you so desperately miss. But the more you give, the more she takes. The more you sacrifice, the less she sees you. You are becoming a ghost in the palace you built, a silent servant, a willing wraith, a shadow that serves a queen who has long forgotten the sound of your name. Stop, just for a moment. You must understand. This is not a failure of your generosity. It is a fundamental failure of your understanding. You have fallen victim to the provider's curse, a psychological snare disguised as virtue, a trap baited with love and sprung with contempt. Here is the truth, the cold, jagged pill you must swallow. She was never attracted to what you could give her. She was attracted to the potential of the man she thought you were, the man of strength, of ambition, the man whose purpose was a roaring fire inside him, not a candle he used to light her way. You mistook the role of a provider for the role of a king. You confused the function with the essence. A king provides for his kingdom from a position of power, of sovereign will. His generosity is an overflow of his abundance. You provided from a position of need, a desperate plea for validation, a quiet negotiation for love. Every gift was not a tribute. It was a tax you paid for her affection, a down payment on a love you felt you didn't inherently deserve. And women, on a deep, primal, biological level, are repulsed by this. It is a subcommunication of weakness. Hypergamy, in its rawest form, isn't just about seeking a man with more resources. It's about an instinctual drive towards a man with a higher and rising value, a man who is on a trajectory, a man who leads, a man whose world is vast and she is invited into it, not a man whose world is tiny and she is the sole inhabitant. When you made her your purpose, you abandoned your own. You gave up your divine mission as a man. You abdicated your throne. You willingly handed her the crown and scepter, then knelt, expecting gratitude for your own surrender. But a queen has no respect for a king who kneels to her. She only has use for a servant. Consider Julian, a good man by every modern metric. He met Clara, and she was not just a part of his life. She became the entire blueprint. He paid her rent so she could pursue her art, a series of blank black canvases. He bought her a car so she wouldn't have to suffer the indignity of the bus. He funded her nebulous startup, working 2 soul-crushing jobs to make it happen. He believed in her, even when she didn't seem to believe in herself. He cancelled nights with his friends whenever she felt lonely. His world shrank, its borders defined by her moods. He was the perfect modern provider. And for a brief, sunlit moment, it seemed to work. She was appreciative, loving even, but then a shift, a subtle, cold current entering the placid waters of their life. Her thank yous became clipped, more of an expectation than an expression of gratitude. Her calls became less frequent. Her texts, once flowing paragraphs, were reduced to single-word inquisitions. Done. Home. Money? When he'd come home, exhausted to the bone, she'd be on her phone. A look of profound boredom etched onto her face as he recounted his day. He saw her laugh once, a genuine, vibrant laugh. It was with another man at a party, someone who had challenged her, teased her, and paid her no special service. The disgust was not overt. It was in the quiet sigh when he asked a simple question. The slight, almost imperceptible roll of her eyes when he expressed an opinion. It was in the way she no longer initiated touch, and when he touched her, her skin felt like cold marble. Julian had given her a world without struggle, and in doing so, had demonstrated that he was a man who could be easily conquered, easily managed. He was no longer a challenging, exciting partner. He was a utility, a comfortable, predictable, and ultimately, contemptible resource. This is the moment the glass shatters. The beautiful stained glass window of your love story explodes inward, and you are left standing in the wreckage, cut by the truth. The kingdom you built was a cage, and you were both its architect and its most willing prisoner. Your generosity was a symptom of your weakness. Your sacrifice was a glaring lack of self-respect. You weren't building her up. You were frantically trying to prevent yourself from falling down. The primal disgust she feels is not her fault. It is a biological alarm bell, an ancient circuit in her DNA screaming, "This man has no spine. He has no mission of his own. He is not a leader. He is not safe." Attraction is not transactional. You cannot buy it. You cannot earn it through servitude. It is commanded. It is generated by a man who values himself first. So what do? You stop. You let the kingdom fall. You take a torch to the tapestries and a hammer to the throne. The terror of this is immense. You believe that if you stop giving, she will leave. You have mistaken your function for your identity. And here is the final brutal truth. She might have to. Because the man she is with now is not the man she can respect. You must let the provider die, so the king can be reborn from the ashes. The transformation begins not with a grand gesture, but with a quiet, earth-shattering no. No, you cannot sacrifice your work for her passing convenience. No, you will not fund a whim that drains your soul. You begin to rebuild your own kingdom, the one inside. You reconnect with your purpose, your passions, your own damn soul. You become the unshakable center of your own universe again, not a frantic satellite orbiting hers. And a strange thing happens. As you pull away, as you become more invested in your own mission, a flicker of something new appears in her eyes. It might be confusion. It might be fear. But beneath it all is a spark of attraction. The polarity has been reset. She is seeing, perhaps for the first time in years, the man she thought you were. The man you were always meant to be. The curse is broken, not when you give more, but when you finally decide that you, yourself, are enough. Your value is not in what you provide. It is in who you are. And that is a kingdom no one can ever take from you.